Sha-na-na-na-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na.
Okay, for those of you who are not familiar with the Electra 220, the Electra series is a wonderful series from Smith Corona. It is one that I recommend to everybody because it's such a good machine. If you're a beginner, or you just don't know much about typewriters, or you're a little timid, or you want a workhorse, I'm always going to point people, if you're unsure about what kind of typewriter you want, I always point people back to the Electra series. So this one has, you can kind of see it has, looks like wood paneling on the front. And so the Electra series from the 60s and 70s don't have specific dates, and it's really hard to date them. But I date them by decade by looking at the front panel, and the wood paneling tells me this is from the 70s. Now the 220, so the Electra series comes in the 100 series and the 200 series. The 200 series is fully automatic. So the Electra series are all, you have to plug them in, you know, the 100 and the 200. But the 200 series has the power return. I'm going to put this down. It doesn't have a handle. The 100 series has the handle. It does not have a power return. So that's the difference. Now, the 220 means the 20 of that number means it has a 12-inch carriage, the larger carriage. So if you see an Electra 200, that means it's a 10-inch carriage. So, not 200, 210, excuse me. So Electra 210 is a 10-inch carriage. Electra 220 is the 12-inch carriage. Same thing with Electra 110. I got the hundreds on my mind. Okay, so the 110 is a 10-inch carriage and the 120 is a 12-inch carriage. So I hope that explains the Electra series to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to load some paper, and if you're not familiar with typewriters, I highly recommend you go back and watch several of my tutorial videos for the Electra series. You can find them. All my tutorial videos are organized by model or manufacturer and decade. So Smith Corona 60s will bring up all the 60s models that Smith Corona, that we've come across, that Smith Corona did, and I'll have a tutorial video for them. And even if it's the same one, I recommend watching it, because all my tutorial videos, even though, you know, maybe 80% of it is very similar, there's always something different I cover. So like, this isn't a typical tutorial video. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. But for those of you who are new and you want to load paper, you kind of load it right here behind the metal bar. And so we're just going to load it in there. Make sure that paper is behind this bar here. And then I'm going to straighten it out. This is your paper release right here. So I'm going to straighten it out. Okay, nice and straight. I like that. And the bell sounds good on this one. I might bring in my margins a little bit. Here's where you set your margins. I'm going to put up my paper holder. Keeps my paper from flopping over. And in this particular one is in really good condition. This is the original gray, and the paint job is really nice on it. It still looks really good. My on-off switch is right here, so we're going to turn it on. And then let me see if I can zoom in. Hope I don't make you dizzy. I'm going to move this a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to do another typing sheet just so I don't have to think about what to type. And this typewriter has a little bit of a vibration to it. So I'm just going to do a typing sheet here, and I'm just going to be quiet, and I'm going to let you watch this cursive font. So this is in 1970s. I'm just going to do all the different letters and symbols so that you can see what it looks like in the cursive font. And I do get questions. People are like, hey, can you find a cursive typewriter for me? And I just want to remind people that's, you know, these aren't manufactured anymore, so it's not like we can just go out and order a cursive typewriter. You can't just go out and change the type bars, the whole type basket. I'm sure there's people who can, who maybe take apart pieces and reassemble them. I don't know, but that's not something that we do, and typically not something you will find. So it really all has to do with if you come across one. So if you do come across a cursive typewriter, I would say grab it because they are hard to find. Now, one note on this is a single color. Let me open this up. This is a single color typewriter. You'll notice it doesn't have the two colors, and the reason for that is the cursive font. So that cursive font, it goes up higher and down lower than normal typewriter font. And so for that reason, and there's even a note in the original case on this typewriter explaining it. So for that reason, this particular machine does not accept a two-color ribbon. Now most Electra 220s do because they don't have a cursive font on them. Okay, let's do some sentences here. Try to block the sunlight there. So isn't that beautiful? It's just a stunning type font. So I hope this maybe those of you who are wondering, do I want a cursive one? What's it like to have a cursive typewriter? This will give you the idea. Now if you think that the lines are too close for the cursive font, then your typewriters right here has a line selector. So I'm going to increase that to 2. And let's type that sentence again so you can see the difference. Oops, oh, I made a mistake. What do you do when you make a mistake? You can backspace and type over it, or you can go to the next line. So there's the difference between a double line spacing and the single. And hopefully you can still see that in this video. So this is really just what I wanted to show you was the cursive font, and yes, introduce you to the Electra 220. It's not a full tutorial video, but I'll try to link a full tutorial video for you. In this. Thanks so much for watching. You all have a blessed day and happy typing.